Hello and welcome to the video. In this video we're going to take a look at this thing here. This is the SpeedyBee F4 all-in-one flight controller. Now I am aware of SpeedyBee, but I've never used any of their products, and turns out it's an affiliate manufacturer to the guys at Runcam. And for those of you that do know what SpeedyBee is, they have been producing a Bluetooth solution that allows you to control and configure Betaflight controllers with your phone or an Android tablet. And the way it works is you buy one of their SpeedyBee Bluetooth adapters. It has to be one of these. Apparently using something like a HC05, HC06, the kind of Bluetooth stuff that we used to use back in the day won't work. And then you can connect it to a spare UART on your flight controller and then connect to it with your phone or tablet at the field to do all of the settings. Now that isn't something that I thought would be very interesting because I tend to do all of my configuration through Betaflight. But actually, just playing around with this here, I've realized that there's potentially things in the menu that you might want to goof around with that aren't available through the Betaflight on-screen display. Or potentially you might have an issue where the on-screen display is having a hiccup and you want to connect to the board and have a little bit of a goof around at the field. Or it might be that you're not a computer person and you like the idea of being able to configure and set things up using a phone or tablet rather than a PC or a Mac. So while I'm just unboxing this, you can see how it comes. This is an F4 based flight controller, has a MPU 6000, Betaflight on-screen display all built in. It is an all-in-one board, so it also has a power distribution board that will put support up to 3 to 6S LiPo. Current sensor rating is a whopping 200 amps, so hopefully that will even support the most demanding ESC and motor combos. It is D-Shock compatible. It has a 2 meg onboard data flash black box. Interestingly, when you see it connected in a moment, you can see there isn't any data in the data flash. That usually means that it hasn't been powered up and armed at the factory. Personally, I always like to see that. Just gives me that warm feeling that quality controllers actually looked at the board before I got it. There's an RSSI input solder pad, and I'm very pleased to see there are I2C pads used for an external compass or barometer module. But the way it comes packaged is very nice. Inside the little box you have the flight controller at the top. The flight controller is very nicely laid out. We'll look at the manual in a second. It's at the bottom of the box, but it's also on the website too. All of the pads that you're really going to be interested in are at the top of the flight controller. So once you've popped the little fella onto the standoffs that come as part of the kit, then you're good to go as well. Also on the kit there is a capacitor, so you can pop those over the power inputs as well. That's a nice touch. This thing does actually have an LC filter on board as well to support with FPV corruption, give a clearer image and reduce the noise in the video. It's got a 5V and 9V output. Both of those have an integrated LC filter, which is a lovely touch. Loads of UARTs on here as well, which is good. It means that you control lots of other things, and the wiring diagram is pretty straightforward. I do like the way that manufacturers are starting to produce these now rather than the incomprehensible manuals that you used to get from people like Seriously Pro back in the day, where you had to be a technical expert to be able to understand where you soldered everything. So props to SpeedyBee for following the trend and making it easy to figure out how everything goes together. However, the thing I want to show you in this video is actually the Bluetooth connection, and give you a little bit of a tip, because I was struggling to get the Bluetooth stuff to work, but I was being a bit of a dummy. So let me just show you it in case you come across the same problem. So the issue that I was having, I was trying to connect to the Bluetooth on my Android tablet, and the way I've done it here, I've just very quickly connected it up to a 3S battery using a couple of crocodile clips just to power it up so that the Bluetooth initializes, and I can kind of show you how it works. And this is how I was originally trying it, and going into the Bluetooth settings on the Android tablet and then trying to click on connect and waiting for it to maybe ask me for a PIN number and trying to figure that out, and it just wouldn't work. It would time out. Exactly the same kind of stuff happening on my iPhone as well. Really was starting to get a little bit stuck. Did a search on the internet, googled it, and I couldn't find an easy answer. I guess this is quite a new board. The trick, if you can call it that, is make sure that you've downloaded the SpeedyBee app. If you look in whatever app store is for your device, you'll find it. And in the app, click on the Bluetooth bits and pieces. The app will then open up, actually discover and show you the board that you're interested in. You just click on that and all the connection is done automatically for you. So it's a piece of cake. Once the connection's made, then the interface is very similar to Betaflight. So let me very quickly show you what it looks like in Betaflight. Just plug this in. It's pretty standard stuff. If we just jump into the ports, you can see that there are only 2 ports configured in here. One is for S-Bus, and the one at the very bottom is the one that is running the integrated SpeedyBee Bluetooth adapter, running at 19,200 baud. And the rest of the setup is very, very basic. There's no modes configured, so you're going to have to do that. And the on-screen display has everything turned off. Let me just jump into the version information, show you the version. That's what's actually running on it. So a pretty up-to-date version of the flight controller software on this as well. So again, thumbs up SpeedyBee, well done on that. And then let me just jump back to the desk and show you what the interface is like in the actual application itself. Now at the moment I believe the app is only supporting Betaflight, but there are plans for it to support things like iNav and other bits and bobs as well. And that will be interesting to me because I would love the ability at the field to be able to configure and tweak stuff in iNav without having to resort to pulling out a tablet PC and a USB cable. So again, back on the bench, we're now connected through the application, and what I'll do is I'll just overlay a screenshot on the right hand side of how it looks, and I'll just scroll through each of the tabs. Now I think the application itself is more designed for phones rather than a large tablet like this. Some of the text sizing is a bit wacky, but hopefully as I tab through each of the settings, you will notice how similar it looks to the Betaflight configurator and how all the stuff that you're going to want to get to is in here and readily accessible. So if I just work my way down to the very bottom, again I'll type in the version information here in the CLI. There we go, same detail. We'll type exit and then we're back in business. So hopefully that's interesting for those of you. This is one of the boards that I've got in to potentially look at for the next build, and I'm pretty impressed with it. It's going to be interesting to see how it actually performs when it's on a quad, but I love the idea of having a Bluetooth adapter on board for this kind of wireless connection. Initially, before I started playing with it, I didn't think it was a bit of a gimmick, but now I've goofed around with it, I must admit, I like the idea. SpeedyBee, please put a bit of effort into making it iNav support as well, because I will be buying quite a few of your Bluetooth adapters to put on some of my iNav boards so I don't have to start digging around for a USB adapter. If you found that video useful or like the content, then please hit the like and subscribe button down below. If you want to go the extra step, you can become a Patreon of the Painless 360 channel and help provide support for what I do here. All the videos created here are put into playlists, so if you're interested in a particular topic, have a look at the playlist, and they all are organised in there to make them easier to use. If you're not sure if there's a video for your particular problem or topic you want to know more about, then add Painless 360 to the Google search term that you're interested in, and that should find the video, article or content about the particular thing that you're interested in having a look at.